7:12.
7:12.
Pledge. Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Yeah, tongue-tied. All right, I'm going to go a little bit out of order since we have somebody here who's actually interested in the alternate. So, Janet, if you want to introduce yourself, just remember to turn on the mic.
I'm Janice Tibbetts, and I've lived in Merrimack for the last 10 years, and I love the library, so I thought I'd find out what this was about, and hopefully I can do it.
Welcome.
Welcome.
Do you have questions for us, I guess, at this point about what an alternate is or anything like that?
No, I think
Not to
that...
put you on the spot.
No, I think that you've explained it pretty well, and then I was thinking I would just listen and kind of have questions in my brain, or...
Okay. Did anybody have questions for Janice? It's Janice, right?
It's Janice. I'm a paraprofessional at the Amherst Middle School. I'm always been interested in kids. And
Which school?
Amherst Middle School. And I lived at the library as a child, so I'm happy to help if I can.
Great.
Any questions for her? No?
I don't think so. We're glad to have you here.
Thank you.
So I guess the question I have for the board is, do we want to recommend to the town council to appoint her if, after this meeting, if she'll sit through, and
Yes, you
says
want to
afterwards,
sit through the meeting and
at
see
the
if
end
it's
of the meeting,
something.
you can make a call if you're interested or not, after you watch us.
Okay.
And then, saying she's interested, would we want to take the next step, I guess, and go to the town council for their appointment?
Yeah, I think so. That's what we've been waiting for.
And then there was a second person who also expressed interest. Brad Still was his name, and I emailed both of them. I don't know if he's going to show up later or not. I told him about the meeting as well. At that point, saying he does show up, would we want to entertain two? Because we could appoint up to three. So I guess,
I don't see why not.
yeah.
I think you need to speak to him first.
Yeah, well, obviously, yeah. You don't want to appoint somebody, or ask the council to appoint them sight unseen, but yeah. And then, we have a lot of spaces, you can help with. The Friends are always looking for help as well, too. So, all right, so we'll move on then. First point of business beyond that is the acceptance of minutes, which you sent out a whole bunch of them.
Yeah, I sent out 6, 3 that we already approved, and that was the January 2017 minutes, and I believe February 14th also. No, not February 14th, February 1st.
No, we've got February 14th.
No, February 14th is the draft.
Oh,
I'm just
yes.
talking about the completed
Oh,
ones.
yes, I'm sorry.
So I sent out 3
Yep.
approved ones that are ready to just be permanent. And then the February 14th public, the February 14th non-public, and the March 16th non-public that we just did. Those 3 are in draft form, and I actually have them if you guys spot anything that you think.
I read them over.
I
in
need-
email, and I didn't see anything.
You didn't see anything?
I didn't either.
No, looks good.
I have February 1 also.
That's,
Draft.
That was,
you've got February 1 draft?
No, there's no draft on it. It
That
must
was
be
voted on, right?
a completed one.
Yes, that was voted
February
on,
1.
and it was approved,
Okay. Yeah, and there's a February 1 non-public.
which also was
We
approved.
approved. Yeah.
Okay.
See, if it doesn't have draft and caps up at the top,
Oh, it means it's approved.
that means it's approved. And it'll always have approved in the date at the end of the minutes.
start with the 14th.
Yeah, 14th business meeting.
Who would like to make the motion?
A motion, we accept the minutes for February 14th.
Laura motioned.
Second.
Janet seconded.
Question. Are you talking about
The public.
just the public minutes? Okay,
Right, yeah, we'll do one at a time.
okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous, okay. 14th, non-public. Comments?
Oh, no.
Laura's
So those,
motioning.
oh darn it, those were fine.
Yeah, I didn't have any problem with those either.
You motioned, Laura, or are you still?
I did, I motioned.
You motioned.
You have a second?
I'll second.
Yeah, a
There it
second.
is.
Any discussion? No, all in favor? Aye. Okay, 14th, non-public, good.
And then the director's
16th,
review,
Yeah, the 16th,
March
non-public.
16th.
Oh, we scheduled a day?
No, that's the one we just had, that
Oh,
we
that's
had
the one we
minutes.
just had,
Sure,
yes.
that's
It was,
what
it
we
was a
just did.
meeting, so we had to have
Yes,
minutes.
we did.
In Edith's office.
All right, so do we have a motion to approve?
Okay, yeah, just, I mean, this is, I just made it general since it was non-public.
Yeah,
Leadership, management, relations with the Board of Trustees, public relations in general, which are the headings on the
yeah.
form, so
So,
Right, yeah.
I
I
thought
make a
that.
motion to pass the
Second.
March 16th draft
All in
minutes
favor?
for non-public.
Did somebody second?
Yeah,
Laura.
Laura. I'm sorry, Laura seconded. All right, committee updates. Friends meet next week. They didn't meet last month, did they? Did they?
I think you and I were at the town.
Oh, that's right, you and I missed their last meeting. Were you at their last meeting?
Laura, right? Did you go?
You go?
I did.
Any
I don't
update?
remember. So it was,
Moving.
Yes.
sorry, I just,
Yeah, 'cause
No,
we had,
no unusual
no,
topics were discussed.
no.
Yeah,
It
the
was-
friends, I know the friends meet
sorry,
next
I just-
Monday, right? Yeah, Monday.
Yeah,
And they usually meet at the library itself. The Friends are the fundraising arm of the library, so they do all they're supposed to run the turkey shoot, but we help them out because that's such a big event. And then they do a lot of small events. So, all right. The Merrimack Public Library Development Fund.
We're going to meet tonight, but they've rescheduled, or
yeah.
they're in the process of rescheduling to early May. I don't think there has been.
May?
Yeah.
Okay.
it's gonna be May 1st or 2nd.
Yep.
Maybe.
Building Development and Marketing Committee is still on hiatus. Town Center Committee.
Okay. We are meeting this coming Friday.
Okay. Personnel HR Committee.
The only thing on the table really is awaiting an overtime policy. And I'm wondering, Eva, do we need a computer use policy?
We have an internet
We have an
policy.
internet, but not about the computer itself. You know, like, you have to check with the reference librarian, how much
It's
time.
procedural.
Huh?
It's procedural. We have that.
You have that,
Yes.
is that under internet?
Let's check, shall we?
Oh, yeah.
I have no idea because I'm not clicking.
Thought we've done something like that before.
Computer use
Find anything?
is usually procedure, you know, the rules that are right by the,
I know we have it because, well, it's mostly the internet, because that's using the computer is using a patron computer is using the internet. So it's
Right,
looped
internet's
into
what you
that.
access with the computer, but I was just wondering about the computer use itself. You know, like you're timed, if you print from it, there's a charge,
That's all.
Yeah, don't we have that?
that kind of thing.
I think we have that.
That's using the computer itself, regardless of what you're, because you might not be using the internet, you might just be using Word or something else.
I just got your text, Jen.
Oh, just now?
She'll be a few minutes.
I was
late.
assuming that.
that's why I don't text.
I love my phone.
Did it just come through?
That's what I was saying. Just get-
Just send it.
Before before I left my house.
You know, Laura, I think really it's rolled into the internet one.
Didn't we, had thought when we reviewed that, we did some changes to kind of roll stuff.
You
in.
haven't approved an updated version.
We haven't, okay.
So, because I still have some drafts in here. So I need to go back to the department heads and see where we are with that.
Okay.
But no, there's not a separate one. It's internet right now. But, you know, the procedures for using a public computer are posted.
Okay, are they part of a policy, though? Because if they're posted, shouldn't they correlate to a policy somewhere?
That's what I'm saying, is they're rolled into the internet one.
Roll into the internet.
We can get more into that, because I put an agenda item on here for policy review plan, so we can kind of plan something
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
But anything further from the HR committee at this point, or no? That was it? All right. Building and maintenance committee.
Joanne, the office manager, and Jared and Janet and I, building committee, met with them because they wanted to discuss the possibility of upgrading the lighting in the building. And I don't think that's on the agenda this week.
I didn't make the agenda.
Oh, I missed that one.
Where's
Well, there's
your-
building
No,
issues.
building issue plan.
It's B.
That's what it was. I put a building issue
Under
plan.
B.
Oh, okay.
Because I know you talked about the lighting, and you also talked about, like, trying to get a list of all the upcoming issues, too.
Yes.
So I just put it as a generic building issue plan.
Okay.
Sorry.
So they talked about replacing all of the light bulbs from fluorescent to LED, and with some of the light fixtures, the ballast would have to be replaced as well. Some of the light bulbs, fluorescent light bulbs, apparently have a very long life, and many of them still have a very long life left. I think he said it was 2012 or 13 that they had changed a lot of the bulbs, and they periodically change bulbs, but they have a very long lifespan. And they felt that this would this was an energy services company in Merrimack called Lightech, Lightech, and they would be able to provide the service for X amount of dollars and apply to Eversource for a grant, and they would also be paid by Eversource. So it's a cost sharing. And the idea was over a period of 4 years, it would take about 4 years to realize the total savings, which was estimated to be about $3,500 a year, I think.
Yep.
About $3,500 a year. I thought that we were going to have more. I didn't bring my booklet. I left it in the car
I
because
have it.
thought, oh, do you? I thought we were going to have updated information this evening. I'm sorry.
Now, is it only the lighting they're looking to replace at this point?
Yes.
Just the lighting.
It's just the bulbs. It's just the, yeah.
And the price tag was about $14,000. And so, well, no, you can look at this. This is the, this tells you the total cost of the project would be about $29,000. Eversource would contribute $14,500, and then we would pay $14,500 for the total project. The total costs are delineated in the back per light fixture and includes labor. So you get the cost of the bulb and the labor. You can pass that around. So that was what we talked about. It would be up to you folks to bring that to us if that was something you wanted to go forward with at this time.
There's, Joanna's supposed to give us an update, or Bob, was it? Bob?
Jared?
No,
No?
the guy for Light Tech was supposed to come back with another,
Oh.
another proposal, because there was some changes that Jared had, because there were some lights that were supposed to be switched out, and he was like, no, we're not doing that one, no, we're not doing that one. So there were a couple that were taken out, and then,
She clarified that
right,
in an email.
and we were supposed to get an updated copy,
Yeah,
but we
it
haven't gotten it.
actually stayed about the same after the clarification. Had something to do with the 8-foot switching off of the, I don't know, I have to read it. But
Yeah, but that was, but not the stuff, no, that's not it.
okay, sorry.
And this is something that there are X amount of these grants per year,
Right.
and when they're
When the
gone, they're
money's the
gone,
money's
right?
gone.
So the idea is we would need to act on it soon before somebody else takes it.
Right, so Eversource has this Eversource initiative, and the Eversource initiative basically says they have X amount of dollars per year that they will spend. It makes it sound like a grant, that they'll help out places
Right.
that need money. And essentially, this whole cost, they're taking half of it and we would take half of it. But like Jen said, they have, it's a yearly thing. So once that money pot is gone to all the different places that they decide to take their initiatives, the money's gone. And then we would have to apply next year and see if we can get it for next year.
So that's what they presented to us. And that would be, go ahead.
Was this a cold call that like Light Tech just got in touch with Joanne or with some part of the library and offered this?
No, I think
How
they were
did
here
this
for
come
another
about?
purpose.
Say again?
I'm wondering if this was unsolicited, actually, so.
Yes.
And I don't know what off the top of my head, I don't know what our electric costs are. You know, are we paying more than $14,000 annually, and,
No,
you know, and
we're not.
when do you recoup the?
It's 4 years.
4 years.
4 years it takes to
4
recoup.
years is, yeah, that's, but I just,
For electricity, well, that's total electricity. We pay $14,575 as budgeted.
A year? A month?
Electricity,
Electricity.
all of the electricity in the building, the budget line is $14,575
For the year.
for the year.
But we're not saving that in a year, we're saving.
Now, the one, I guess, question for you, with the whole rearrangement of the desks and everything, I was kind of noticing the reference desk now is a little dark, because it used to be directly under the windows, and now being in that corner, it's kind of a darker area. I'm wondering, should we wait on this? Because I'd like to talk to you and probably Jared about, what we can do to brighten up that area. Because I don't know, did anybody else happen to notice that since the rearrangements of the desks?
Well, that
I
would
just-
be installing new fixtures.
Or changing the lights outright?
This only is referencing what exists.
Right,
When you talk about reconfiguring, that's a different project.
right. That's why I'm wondering, should we have the conversation first about lighting near the reference desk before we entertain this?
Well, I would assume that I thought Joanne was going to kind of bring this to the board. I guess I
No,
didn't.
that was
no.
our job.
That was our job, okay. I think this is open for discussion, whether we proceed now or we wait till next year. And maybe we need to have a little more comparison information on what we're paying and what this will actually do for us.
I really feel, I would like to address long-term goals before we invest such a large amount of money on something that we haven't really discussed.
I think that's a good idea, because we also have other building issues
Yeah.
that I think we need to look at the global picture and then figure out where the priorities lie and kind of being down a list in that way.
Especially with
So-
life left in the light bulbs that are already there.
Yes, there is life left.
Right.
And that's not to say that this grant money
We'll get
we
used up.
will not just get used up, but will be there in future years if
Yeah.
we really need something like this done. there is the very good possibility that that money won't be there, the way governments are functioning.
This is through
It's through Eversource.
Eversource, okay.
And
Because I know Honeywell did a similar audit several years ago with the schools.
right,
So
they did. I remember.
maybe we entertain,
look at other
Honeywell
companies.
coming
It
in
doesn't
and
have to
making some similar proposal.
Yeah, doesn't have to be the same vendor.
No. So anyway,
Well, we had, I don't know the date, but I would imagine that Joanne would have talked about that where it was pre-2012 when there was some kind of upgrade,
There was.
energy saving upgrade done to the lights.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
She did
they were
bring
not
that up.
all done?
They were all done. If I remember, she
I
said
think they
that they
put
were
in
all
like
done.
the track lighting in the clump room.
That's different.
Well,
Yep,
that
that's
was different.
No, all the fluorescent bulbs were in the library were totally done.
Right.
Ah, yeah,
Um,
yes.
Pre 2012. She didn't know the date off the top of her head, but
Well,
It
it
was
was
like-
before I became the director, and
Yeah.
it was only very peripheral for me as a department head. But I know
yes.
it was done.
Right.
but 5 years is not a huge amount for fluorescent bulbs.
No, I think
They
she
last a
indicated
long
they have like a
time.
10-year lifespan.
Yeah.
She said, right.
Right.
Which is a long time.
So it sounds like regardless of what this direction we go, we do want to table this, at least for the short term.
I think so, until
Yeah,
we
and we need to
look
get,
at our bigger picture.
well, and we needed more information from Joanne.
Right. Okay. Okay, so we'll table this, and I'll
Yeah, I have
I'll
that
keep it
too.
as an agenda item for next month. I'll put it on next month's agenda, and we can
Well,
just revisit the discussion a little bit if we
for
need
the
to.
lights,
Yeah, we can just
Well-
bring it back up next month to see if anybody changed their mind, or
Or if Joanne gives you more information.
if we get more information from
well,
Joanne.
we just talked about looking at it in light of the overall strategic plan in terms of the building, so
Okay, so
it's
we'll hold
not
on.
off the
yeah.
table, it's just, we're looking at it in context with other things.
After our
Makes sense.
retreat, maybe.
After our retreat and stuff like that.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
All
Maybe
right,
the May
so
agenda.
we'll table it for the short term.
Can I ask a question, or maybe it's a question? Maybe it's a comment.
Maybe.
I don't think it has a question mark. at the end.
Maybe.
You know, I don't know if you are thinking of using trustee funds for this, but if we put it off to think about it longer, then it is something that could go on a CIP.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
So
That's
the big-
October, you know, when we do the budget in the fall, that's when
Right.
we make a new sheet for this project.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's something we could do. Yes.
Joanne did bring up, there's also, it's called, what was it called? A Smart Plan, Smart Save, something like that, that Eversource also has, that as part of your electric bill, or part of your bill that you pay, there's essentially an addition to pay monthly, like your monthly installments.
I think that was a
Um,
loan.
No,
No?
it's not a
I thought
loan.
it was a loan.
Well, it's kind of like a loan, but it's still, instead of paying the 14.5 right out of, and it would have been out of trustee funds, instead
Oh,
of
you
paying the
can-
14.5
in
right
installments.
away, you'd pay in installments as
Oh.
in addition to
Is
your
there
bill.
interest in that?
I
She
don't-
didn't say
She
that.
needed, that was the thing. It's Smart Save or Smart
Yeah, she's
something,
gonna
and
get
she
more
was gonna get more
information.
information about it. So,
Hmm.
so we would pay it.
Well, if it's
So
an
many
installment,
years.
that might be okay, but I wouldn't be for taking out a loan on it.
Right, yeah. So, but again, she didn't know, she didn't have all the details on the Smart Save program.
Okay. Anything else on this one before we move on? Nope. All right, investment committee.
We need to schedule a meeting.
We do.
So no update at this
Let's
point.
schedule that
All
tonight
right.
after.
All right, so moving into the new business. We were going to talk about a policy review plan.
This was very helpful, thank you.
That's what I have. I cleaned it up, but that's the document that I work off of. So Rick had said to me on the phone last week that you wanted, or you all, I'll just say
Yes.
y'all. You all wanted
Y'all.
a binder or some kind of printout of all the policies. So I created two of these. One, I did something really small so it'll fit in your drawer.
Perfect.
And it's got, and this is like, I have an identical one. But it's got, this is, what's on the website. So that's how I keep track of what's public, all the policies that are out in the public. And then the spreadsheet of just, when we've reviewed things and then all the policies following. So they're in a, plastic sheet so we can just take out and.
Nice.
I think what I'd like to do eventually is make them all formatted the same. They're still not formatted the same. And some of that's because some of them are older, some of them are longer.
What?
Some of them we wanted to have
So send
on
an
one
email.
sheet. So that's, I don't know if that's ever gonna really happen. I mean, it should, but,
Well, it'll be easier to read them if
attach an
they're all
email.
Yeah,
formatted the same.
yeah.
yeah, so, there's a little bit of turnover that it's gonna take a little time to do. But, so this is yours, it will be in
Very
the
nice,
drawer.
thank you.
If you
Great.
wanna. And then I'm gonna keep mine in my office, but I still work off of my folder, which, has things that we are going to I'm going to discuss with the, department heads.
So this in the blue is
That's
a
exactly what's on the
list
website now.
of that's on the website.
On the web now.
Now, are there materials in here that are not on the website?
No,
No.
no,
No.
I have them though.
But you do have materials that eventually will get
Yes.
put in. Okay. I didn't
Or some that are gonna, okay.
change.
Well, okay, if you look at your spreadsheet, which was in your packets,
Yep.
and I'll just show you what I'm talking
wanna
about
look at
here.
this?
If you look at your packets, they're there, but you'll see some that aren't, they don't exist in the public yet.
This is on the first couple.
See
Okay.
that? I found it.
Well,
See if they wanted to see that.
let's see.
There's your binder.
All right, I'm anal about
okay.
that.
Confidentiality
Okay.
RSA? I mean, that's,
So, for example, if you go to page 2,
Page 2.
selection of non-print materials, that's really part of collection development. We've got an updated draft of it, but that has to be reviewed by the department heads. That's going to take a little while because it's lots of pieces to it. So that's, we are still operating under guidance of, we still operate under guidance of how to select non-print, but it doesn't exist
Well, I was
in the
wondering,
public yet.
you have on the first page, deaccession of
Yes.
materials from the collections.
Yep.
Then it dawned on me, I didn't see anything about selection of materials as
Those are two different.
you just
Hi.
have selection of non-print, not of other.
Exactly, yes. That's another example where deaccession of materials is really part of collection development because you add and you take things out.
Okay, so
So,
it's rolled into that.
It's all, yeah, but
Okay.
we haven't updated that. It's, I don't want to say how old it is.
okay.
And we've changed how we do things internally, but it hasn't been, it exists. It's not, there are still red print in it, in terms of this is, suggested use and we're still acting on it, but it's not, we have to, it's a challenge going over policies with department heads because when we have a staff turnover, then we're discussing something with not a full staff, and we've had 2 department heads leave since the end of the summer.
Yep.
One in tech services, who's doing purchasing, and one in children's, who's also doing purchasing. So it does make it challenging. Right now, we're fully staffed, so I could say, okay, here's the next thing, guys.
Yeah.
But,
You have a couple that say, ask Jen Green.
yep, those are I'm telling you, this is my document.
Yes.
It's my notes.
Right.
So if it has to do with circulation, or if she was the last person I said to work on a draft,
I
then I
gotcha.
need to check in with her.
Oh, okay.
I think, some of the things that came up, we talked about in department heads, and I probably have brought it up with you guys I know I did last year, about changing the fines and fees schedule, but we had to wait for disc cleaning to figure out what we're going to charge for that. I mean, there were pieces, and then you can finally say, okay, we're going to change the fines and fees schedule. We had to wait for the new copier to come in and say, you know, what is the suggested price to make a photocopy with a new machine. So now we have those two pieces. So I don't know, when I go to the department heads tomorrow and ask them, they might say, oh, here's one thing we are missing, because I have a draft of it that's already scribbled on with changes to update it for what we were doing even before the copier. But the other challenge with changing the fines and fees is you have to plan to roll it out. So is it going to happen on a calendar year, January 1, or is it going to happen on a fiscal year, July 1st? And we have to tell the public, as of pick a date, these fines and fees will go up. So there's, I mean, each policy, you know, I mean, has pieces that I need to work with, and then you guys see it, and then you usually want to work it over for a little while, and, you know, so that's kind of where we are. Any other questions?
This is very helpful, thank you.
Yes. Thanks for
Actually,
Just really
you bring up
solidifies it a lot more.
the disc cleaning, and I don't know if it was you were the one I was talking to at the library, or if it was Jen. But based on the sign, that was actually, I wanted to see, do we have a policy for that? 'Cause
Yes, you already approved it. It's in here.
Oh,
It's
okay.
on the web. It's, well, you didn't,
Yeah.
you're not holding this, but
'Cause I just wanted to review it one more time based on,
Policy, we just-
make
October.
sure it doesn't contradict what the sign, because I saw they made up a nice little sign saying, hey, we do disc cleaning now.
no, it won't. It won't. If it comes out of Jen's department, it will not contradict.
Okay,
But you approved that in October.
good to know.
Yeah.
I don't remember that one.
Yeah, there's some you don't
That's
remember. I
because
know,
it was
because I was doing the same thing going, do we?
They'll blur together.
So now that we have the spreadsheet with the policies, I would recommend, during our retreat, we probably pick, like the top 5 that we want to review.
Well, maybe, would it be better if the priority came from you, because you would have.
You
a
Well,
have
better-
that's what I've been trying to do. I think we had some policies that had not been reviewed for a number of years, so those needed to go first. And then, I tried to pick the ones that were kind of streamlined and weren't connected to too many other kinds of pieces. I think the other thing is what we've been doing is, anytime you add a new service, then you have to generate a new policy.
Right.
So you guys have actually written a lot of policies. So you might be in a position by the time you get to your retreat to say, okay, this one's easy, and
check
put it
some
on a
off the list.
schedule. You might be there. I don't know if it's reasonable. I don't want to say that. I don't know if it's reasonable to go through the policies in 1 year because you have 12 meetings.
Right.
So then you have to say, okay, I have 25 or 30 policies, not counting the ones we haven't written yet. How many does that mean a month? And I know there were a couple of months where I was giving you a lot of policies and you were like, seriously? I know you didn't say it. You didn't say it. But I heard it. Saw it in your body language. This, really? Another one? Another one? So.
I think there's two. There's the ones that the staff that you
Right.
feel we need to review, and then just as a board, we might look and say, oh, you know what? One of us might have an idea.
Sure.
That's something I at least want to review.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's a little balance of both.
The other day, which is, I don't even know if it was, because it's only Tuesday, but, so maybe it was last week. But I was talking to, I don't know, I was talking to someone, I was talking to one of the staff, and maybe it was Jennifer, it might have been Jen, because she's circulation, and she was talking about the e-readers, and we have an e-reader policy, and it's like, do we need that? Are these going out? How are they changing in terms of their placement or their inclusion in the collection? When we first brought e-readers into the library, not everyone had one, and now it's how many years later? 5 years later, everyone has one. So do we need to keep them anymore? And that was a question that came up just in during an interview or something. It was just a really kind of random comment that.
So they're not being checked out at all?
they don't circulate as often as they used to, you know, so it's like, well, maybe we, you know,
Maybe you could just keep a couple available for people in case.
we have 5. So,
Well, we
no.
don't need to settle that tonight.
no, and I'm not asking you to, I'm just saying, you know, as an anecdote,
Things change.
things change, but also the topic comes up on our side too, where it's like, you know, in the same way that you're going to go, let's talk about this thing. It's like, So that's on my agenda for tomorrow, is to talk about, or to start talking about the e-readers, and is there a better way to utilize them, you know, that we're not, or do they get decommissioned? Decommissioned, sure.
Like a ship.
There you go.
Sinking. All right.
So,
Yeah, it's helpful to have the list and see where stuff is in progress too.
Yes.
so thank
okay.
you.
Is there anything else we want to
No,
discuss?
the only
with
thing I would bring up is staff policies and procedures.
That is another, I'll tell you, it's another big document, lots of moving pieces. I have a version that was updated already. There are areas in red. That's how we operate. We operate out of that one, but that's another one where I have to sit the board, or sit the department heads down and say, okay, guys, fine tooth comb, can we just approve this finally?
Would you be able to just make up an index like this, so we know what they are? What the,
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be nice, helpful.
Okay, but that's a project. I mean, that's a big project.
Just a list? Do you have an index?
I don't have
You
an
have
index. No, because it's in a binder. I'd have to sit with the binder and put it in a spreadsheet. It's not
It's not
arranged.
indexed in the binder.
No, it's just a binder.
Oh.
If you saw it, it doesn't sound, it sounds like it's crazy. It's not crazy. It's organized. And we hand it out to the staff, and
But how do you know where to find them if you don't have them
it's
indexed?
printed on the computer. You just print it off. It's in a
You
file.
want to take that one up as part of the HR committee, just to
Well,
look
no,
through it
that's,
at this
that's not
point?
my job.
No, I'm
It-
just saying, just to look and see what's actually there and then make recommendations.
Well, I just wanted to see what they are. I don't need a
It's
copy
on my,
of all
I
the
could hand, it's
policies.
on my bookshelf, or I can print you a fresh copy. It exists.
Okay.
And, I mean, it's
I
just,
just wanted to see an index of, like this, just a list of what they are.
yeah, it's, we don't have a table of contents like that. There's a table of contents that looks like a normal,
Well, that's fine. Table of contents is fine. You don't have to reinvent the wheel.
okay?
Yeah. That's all.
I think you need to see it to see what,
Yeah, I don't
It's
know
just,
what it was.
it's a
so you're both talking about the same thing.
binder, it's this thick.
I think that's all we need. Table of
Okay.
contents is fine.
Sure.
Don't you?
If we need more, then we'll ask to look at the binder. So we'll start with the table of contents.
So you just print that off. You don't have to write it. I misunderstand. Is it not written or is it written?
It's written. I
Okay.
could print you off one at 9:00,
Then we're done.
but it doesn't exist in a spreadsheet. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, that's okay. It doesn't have to look like this. I was just going after for a list, that's all.
Just, I mean, just how you break it up, like in categories even. Just, that was just what we were talking about. And that's probably what the table of contents is, the categories under which each are, or maybe not.
Wait, I mean, you could have pulled it off my shelf when you were in my office. I mean, it's in a binder. It's
Okay.
a staff policy manual. It's not like.
Cool.
Are you who's going to be at the full staff meeting? Because I can have it for you Thursday.
Thursday,
That
I
was,
was going to be there, but I don't know.
Was it Monday?
Thursday?
This Thursday,
This Thursday morning.
2 days
I
from
had it
today.
as tomorrow. Yes, so
Sleep
much
in
better.
tomorrow. Don't.
I'm unable to attend on Thursday.
Okay.
I just wrote it down.
Thursday at 8:30, I will be
Is it
there.
8 or 8:30?
It's 8:30. I will not be there at 8.
I will be there.
At 8?
30. But I will be there on Thursday, not tomorrow.
Yes,
All right, good.
Thursday's good.
So much better.
So, any further discussion of the policies at this point? Or where do we want to go with this at this point? Or
I think just
Talk about
starting,
it the.
take a look at individually, we could look at the staff policy?
Well, I think we
Because
just
you
need
said
to
you
look
have
at
it in
the-
your office if anybody
It's on
wanted
the
to see it.
computer. Yes.
Okay.
Do we want to look at it at the retreat? Just go through the
Yeah,
list?
probably,
I think
we
we'll-
could probably come up with a plan at the retreat.
That would be fine.
Okay. All right, building issues.
Well, I think the only thing we're looking for at this point is.
Discussed lights already.
We've talked about the lights, we don't need to go back to that. It's just getting that list of what all the building projects are. When
Right.
Janet and I walked around with Joanne and Yvette and Jared and where, what needs repair and where. And that way we have an idea of this big picture, so that when we look at the strategic plan, look at what needs to be funded, we have a big picture look and can narrow it down to a
Right.
little picture.
Okay,
She didn't have time to do it.
okay. So we'll table that. All right, website discussion. I put that on here because, well, do we ever have anybody kind of go through the whole website, just click on all links? And because I know I found that one issue that I emailed you about
Mhm.
where we had a bad page. Do we ever have anybody go through the whole website?
What are you talking about?
Just kind
An
of click on
audit
all the pages on the library website, just to review it, to see if there's anything that needs to be
Make sure everything's up to
up to
date.
date, or if there's anything that, you know,
Make sure the
Links
links
that aren't
work.
working.
links
that they're supposed
works,
to work.
anything like that.
Okay.
And I don't know if.
That'd be a good volunteer.
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering, who, you know, would it be something the trustees should do, should it be staff? I don't, I just wanted to kind of put it out there for discussion.
Would a volunteer?
I wouldn't mind being a volunteer doing that, you know, just kind of give some feedback about going through.
I mean, they wouldn't change anything. They wouldn't have the
No,
ability
no,
to.
they wouldn't have the
but
ability. I'm
they would
just-
make notes saying, okay, well, this is an event that's already taken place, or I can't get this link to come up,
Just
or
kind
whatever.
of as an audit, you know, just to make sure everything's up to date, was what I was thinking, you know,
And just do it periodically.
yeah, just a periodic audit, you know, and I wouldn't mind being the one to do that, but, you know, I was wondering, you know, is this,
Okay. You have
Is it-
volunteered for the project.
there you go.
There you go.
So,
Well, having said that, once you've compiled your list
right,
and give it back to Yvette, who would take care of it? I mean, is it an Alex issue, or depending on whether it's a link or something that didn't work?
is it Alex or Joanne that
I don't
maintains the
know.
website?
Isn't it department heads?
Is it
Each
department
department.
heads?
All of the department heads have login authority
Okay,
and the authority to change anything.
okay. Okay. I'm not even saying there's anything wrong with the way. Don't get me wrong. I'm not
Okay,
saying there's
I'm just-
anything wrong with the website. I know there was that one page that I found a month ago or so, and that's kind of what got this into my head. And so I could go through it and just kind of give you any feedback if I see anything. But I was just wondering if anybody does like a periodic audit.
No, no.
Okay.
I mean, the staff are supposed to create their own, the staff are supposed to maintain their own events, and each department maintains their own page.
Okay.
You know, I kind of bounce around between, if I have to create an event, you know, I maintain your page, I am going to be maintaining, development fund, I maintain the Friends, I do the policies, I mean, I touch all of it. So, you know, I mean, if a link doesn't work, then we usually find out about it because someone clicks on it, but
Okay.
we haven't had a lot of problems. The problem you came across was that there was an event that was on a slider, so it was very front and center, that Liz had created and had linked it to an event that had already passed.
Okay.
So I just disconnected that link, and then it was still advertising tag, it just wasn't advertising tag in October.
Right.
So,
Okay.
but no one was in the children's room, there was no department head,
Yeah, at
Until
that point there was an
February
empty
to
department.
check it.
Yeah. So
so nobody caught it, and
okay.
the children's staff, they were not
This,
doing it.
I fully admit this is me being nitpicky, but you know, so I'll kind of just go through the site,
Okay,
give like
well,
an
I'll tell
audit.
them tomorrow that they need to audit their own areas,
Okay,
so we'll race you, how about that?
there you go.
Tomorrow is at the meeting, are you saying?
No, tomorrow I have a
Oh.
department head meeting. You
Oh, okay.
don't have-
Okay, just,
You can tell the
Just-
department heads, anybody, if I find something wrong, they each owe me $1.
I owe you a copy.
You know, you actually can't say
think
that
we
as a
can do
trustee.
that.
Don't pick up his bad habit. Do you wear glasses? Do you wear
Alright.
readers? Cheaters?
Yes, but,
Do you carry them with you?
yes.
He's got them tonight. I forgot
he
mine.
almost forgot them.
Yeah, I got out of my car and I started walking out, and I'm like, uh-oh. I ran back, got my glasses.
See, just my mere presence reminded him that he better
No.
get on the
Right.
straight and narrow. All right,
So that was that.
NHLTA.
NHLTA conference is coming up.
And did you notice that they changed the date?
They changed the
They
date.
They
did.
did.
Yes.
What is it?
It's now Tuesday.
Instead of
23rd.
Wednesday.
Instead of
Oh.
Wednesday.
Didn't catch
Tuesday,
that.
when?
May 23rd. So I printed off the new updated program. Usually happens is I pass this around, you guys put first choice, second choice, third choice,
Right.
and then I will register everyone. Okay?
I already have mine done.
Then you could pass it in to me.
Yeah, I looked through, because those
I
were in
haven't
the
Gone over it.
trustee folders as
You
well.
know, you can get it on the,
I have it.
okay.
I actually have it. I just
Yeah.
haven't taken the time to
Okay.
sit down and
Then
decide what I'd like to do.
Shoot me an email. It's May.
Is that
so-
okay?
Yeah.
Because rather than do it now, I'll get it to you this week sometime.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah,
so, yeah,
I'll
if
do the
everybody
same
could,
because I have to see if I can even take time off of
Yeah,
work.
it's May
Yeah,
23rd,
so if
not,
over the next
which is
week or
much
two, if
better for
everybody
me
could look
than
through
the
it and-
24th.
get there,
Oh, me too.
do anybody need to look through it, or?
Nope, I have mine.
Okay.
So if everybody could get back to Yvette with their first, second, third choices. Right.
So that's something if you
All right, moving on to the treasurer's report.
That's me.
And actually, I'm sorry, before we go on to that, for the conference, would an alternate go to that?
don't say why not? Because we've had department heads go.
Yeah,
It's a good, it's
I
run
think it's
by
a
the
good- really
New
good
Hampshire
idea.
trustee.
well, yeah, saying we can get her, sworn in by the council by then. Saying after this meeting,
Yeah.
she's still interested in not
Oh,
running out of
interested.
here,
It's also
not
just
running out of here
really-
screaming.
There's
There are a lot of, there are a
there's
lot
the
of workshops. Why don't you
NHLTA,
take this?
I'll just say the issue for this year for me is that my niece is graduating and I'm on a 3-day personal days right after this, and my school will not let me take another day. So I'd love to go, but they're not going to want me to do that.
Right.
But I'll
It's
look at
also
it.
like an
Sure.
orientation, and I don't know
Yes,
if,
yeah, we
if
have
to-
alternates can go to that or not,
Yeah.
but
About that.
that might be a good thing to attend
All
to.
right. So yeah, if everybody could get their feedback back to Yvette on that one.
Yeah.
All right, moving on. Now we move on to the treasurer's report. I'm
Okay.
sorry.
No problem. So we have our fines from February. Our starting balance was $24,198.71. First, $7,476.55, excuse me. So our ending balance was $17,928.82.
The equipment being the printer. Is that
I
what it
was going to
I
ask.
think that's
That must
exactly
be.
the price.
Yeah.
It would be a strange coincidence
That's
to
the
be something
copier.
else.
The
Yes,
copy,
the
yeah,
copier.
the copy
Yeah.
of the copier, yeah.
So the 6,000 is the copier and the museum passes, Squam Lake.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
a new one?
No.
Or have we always had that one?
I've
I don't
used that
remember
one.
That's I have too. It's a nice one.
The Parks is new. The New Hampshire Park System, they just started offering library passes in the past year.
Where is that?
It's not
Oh.
in this review, it's just in
All right.
So
So you can get into parks free instead of paying this state fee or whatever it is. Okay.
that's nice.
Thank you for listing out what the supplies were.
Yeah,
helpful.
it's nice.
All right, special. First February, we started with $15,162.93. And we had a total disbursement of $1,093. $14,155.80. So our balance was $14,155.25.
Friends of the Library equipment, so they bought something?
I'm trying to
That's-
remember. That's probably that might be the shelving.
Oh, for the kids' room?
Yeah.
Bad kitty costume?
Yes, for National Library Week, Bad Kitty is a book character.
Yes, she has
Do
one.
you have a Bad Kitty book?
Yes, she does.
There.
So we purchased a costume?
No, you rent it.
Rent it.
You have to pay for cleaning and you send it to the next location, but it's good.
Very cute.
That's cool.
And aren't Elephant and Piggy coming to the
Elephant
library?
and Piggy?
Are they coming to the library too?
I don't know.
I thought I saw something.
I just know when
So who you stuffing in the costume?
I'm not going to disclose that. It ruins the magic for the children.
Not a costume, it's actual
It's a
bad
bad
kitty.
kitty. There we go.
Preserve the magic.
Right.
I will have to check that out because I have that book and that's. I want to see this. I want to see this.
And when is this?
Oh, I don't know. It's probably on the calendar, but I think I remember it was National Library Week, which is the week of April 9th. I can look.
Oh, okay.
Make sure you get a picture of the shelf elf with the bad kitty together.
I'll try to remember that.
Ah, yes. That would be good. Good old Mary.
Yvette, do you want this filled out? For
Sure.
Okay.
You can.
What are we waiting on?
Yvette?
Are you really? For Bad Kitty?
We're waiting
Oh.
for Bad Kitty.
Is it
Next
okay?
item.
So we're done with the treasurer's report, though.
We are done.
Oh, Elephant and Piggy are coming.
Right?
You're right.
Yeah, I saw that the other day.
Elephant and Piggy.
Oh, they're the
I see.
cutest children's books.
Oh, they're,
Maybe I don't know when Bad Kitty's
One
coming.
of my daughter's favorites when she was
Well,
little. we
listen
did
to the
a
director's
Elephant
report,
Piggy birthday
they're getting educated.
Don't tempt me with shiny things, Rick.
Look.
Okay, so we don't have any gifts right now. I'm gonna send over a PAR to you.
Okay.
We've hired Brett Sarbieski as the part-time circulation page aide, and that's his PAR to sign. And
Male employee.
yes,
What did you say?
Another male employee.
I know.
so if you can vote
What's
to
today's
accept
What?
that.
What's today's
Today
date?
is 21.
So motion to
Move.
accept.
I move to accept
Okay,
Brett's.
Jen.
Okay, that's seconded.
I will second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. And he should be at the full staff meeting Thursday.
Thursday.
I don't know if you have any questions about this, but, reference area, we've already been talking about how that's been rearranged, including the staff desk, patron computers, and the patron work tables, and the new copiers installed, and connected, yes.
You said that, I was thinking about what Rick was saying, that section is kind of dark. You said that.
Well, that's my opinion. I
Well,
won't mind somebody else,
That's okay. I just was referring to that because you had said to me when things were first being moved around that desk was going to be moved a couple of feet forward, but there was a pole in the way
We
that
haven't
was
had-
going to get it. That
We
was
haven't
gonna
had
be
the
moved.
electricity put in that section, that's the next phase.
Because you said there's also going to be like a little wall for like
Yeah.
a private consultation area.
Yes.
So really, we shouldn't do anything about lighting until we know where everything is going to be and what's going to be there.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's, we haven't updated the electricity in that area. There's going to be 2 floor, as far as the last plan I saw, which I'll find out more tomorrow, there should be 2 floor
Outlets.
outlets. one towards the front where the desk is going to be, and one towards the back where the consultation area is going to be.
So the desk is going to move forward
Yes.
so that the outlets will be under the desk.
Yes.
Okay.
But I don't think it's a problem if we end up putting a desk lamp on there. You know, it kind of softens the space. We've talked about plants, you know, things like that. So I don't think we have to worry about it yet.
Okay.
We're still reviewing the trials for Flipster and Zinio.
Oh, the e-magazines. Yeah.
Yes. And then I did pass around a statement from Michael York, who's the state librarian, about the president's blueprint budget, which the funding to the Institute for Museum and Library is targeted to be cut, and he has a statement that he emailed around to us. So
Are we,
That's okay.
did
That's
we
this
get
one.
funds from both the Endowment for the Arts and the Endowment for the Humanities and the Institute for Museum and Library
that
Services?
when we have a New Hampshire Humanities Council program come in,
Yeah,
they are funded.
they're funded and then we just get it from the New Hampshire Humanities Council. That's what I
We
thought.
are able to bring them in because of their own funding. Yeah.
That's what I meant. It's funneled
Yes.
through them.
Right, exactly, yeah. So, yeah.
So just this letter is. That last paragraph is interesting.
I mean, basically, you know, for people watching, you know, what he's saying is that our congressmen and women and senators support this kind of funding, and they support libraries. I know he said that the new governor supports libraries, but it's still, you know, of course, it's not approved yet. Nobody knows what's going to happen.
Well, certainly federal funding for not only the arts, but for library is critically important as one of the foundations of liberty, of freedom, libraries. So they're very important. And not only that, the libraries are one of the places that any citizen, rich or poor, can access information and technology. And not every citizen has the funds to have a lot of technology or access. So the library is the one place anybody in this country can go into a library and get information, use technology, improve their knowledge.
Yeah, I had posted an opinion on my own personal Facebook page where, you know, for example, Merrimack buys into Overdrive. So that's your downloadable books. And our dues into that consortium, there's a formula based on your population and your card holders and things like that. So a large library like Merrimack pays in more than a smaller library like Brookline or a library in the North Country. And these are resources that are shared over 200 libraries. So sometimes, you know, in GMILKs, we've talked about, well, my patrons can't get this. Okay, let's do 3M Cloud. That's why we have that, because now it's only shared around 12 libraries. But if Merrimack can't afford to pay into Overdrive anymore, we lose the resources, which is kind of bad because that's an investment we've already made. But then the smaller libraries, their budget will change too. So for us, it's like when you're in a consortium, you should be consortial and
Yeah.
kind of,
Yeah.
you know, it
Yeah. Creates greater access.
exactly. And so that's the challenge. I mean, we won't know what our choice is going to have to be until we find out what their choice might have to be. And the same thing, this, if it affects the van for interlibrary loan, again, there was such demand on a van, but we had a lot of demand just in G-Milks, so we hired a separate courier. And we talk about the state van and the courier, just to distinguish between two different vehicles and different systems that are moving our stuff around the state. So we pay into the G-Milks Consortium courier, and we get deliveries. But we still have requests, for other libraries to take our books or vice versa throughout the state. We use the state van. So, again, if that budget is cut, it was already cut, so we added the courier. That was so that we could continue to get materials to our people.
I'm sorry. With overdrive, though, it's actually going away, right? Am I
don't know.
understanding that?
I don't know. The magazines are gone.
Right.
That was a trial that
That's
didn't get
okay.
renewed. So we want to replace the magazines.
I thought overdrive overall is going
No,
away.
it's just there was
magazine piece of it is gone.
right.
Okay. Okay. Cool. Continue. Sorry.
Okay. Yeah, that's all I have, I guess.
Okay.
I have some things under new business, or I can just share it now if you want. It's not depends on where you want it to be.
Share it now, I guess.
Okay. That goes there. So, I was emailing with Claire yesterday from the Friends, and she said that her niece went to a mini golf event in Hanover at the library
Is this
there.
one of the indoor
Yes.
library ones that
Yes.
you keep getting all excited about?
Yes.
She went to a what?
Her niece went to the mini golf
Mini golf.
event. It was a multi-day mini golf event in Hanover.
Inside the library?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
It's a fundraiser.
Yeah, I got that, but I'm trying to picture doing mini golf in a library.
I know, wouldn't it be great? So there are pictures on the website, and you just go to the How. But the How Library. Anyway, so she was saying, I finally get. I know you've been talking about this for a while, and she thinks that it would be fun. And I said, well, 2018 is the library's 125th anniversary. So we've been talking in department heads about, we just need to remember that next year is an anniversary and we should plan things. Mm-hmm. So you should put that on your calendar what do we want to do over the whole course of the year. We can highlight a couple of special events.
What was it, the 220?
125th
125th.
anniversary. Library opened,
This month, right?
huh?
Yes.
What?
I said, it reminded her she's doing the letter this month. But that's not something
okay,
we need to
well.
write about now.
I can help you with that. So the library opened January 1st, 1893 in Dr. Warren Pillsbury's home. He was the trustee chair, and then he was the first librarian. And his picture is in the Lowell room
Mm-hmm.
by the fireplace. So that's something to think about.
Mini golf, huh?
And many more things.
And many more things.
Well, if we do mini golf, we could do an event for children and families. We can do an evening event. We can get a liquor license. We can have some fun. No, I didn't mean it that way. The other thing is I had already emailed you about a couple of events the Chamber is doing, and I know we've talked about at the Friends Board and the staff and here, what kind of social events do you want to go to see each other socially and have fun. So there's the Fisher Cats game in July, on July 15th. I sent information to you, but I can pass this around too. And then there's the Spring into Chic fashion show, and this is
Everybody should go to that.
a fundraiser for the Chamber of Commerce, and they're raising funds for the scholarship fund.
Yeah, I saw that one. What is that? It's like people coming out showing off clothes?
Yeah.
Fashion show?
Yes.
Generally, that's
An
what
actual
they
fan-
Their own clothes?
Drives
No,
me
no,
crazy.
no.
The
Someone else's
date
clothes.
is not
Local
on anything.
businesses.
I had to search for the date.
Gowns and
So the Chamber is working with different stores at the outlet malls and other boutique stores in the area. And they're holding it at the Courtyard Marriott. And I won't say because I don't think it's been confirmed, but there's a car dealership that's going to be there with new cars, and the logo is going to be on the big kind of tent outside the building, and different prominent people in the community are going to be modeling, including our police chief is coming back this year. Matt Kasparius will be modeling from the town. Paul McCallie will be modeling from the town. I will be modeling from the town, and the Chamber. Vivia will be modeling. Alyssa Jobin will be modeling prom wear. There are 8 students total who will be competing for a $500 scholarship. And people who are present vote. So you get your family going.
So everybody needs to go.
So everyone needs to go.
Vote for my daughter.
It is $25 a ticket because it's a fundraiser. But it's networking. The paper that I'm passing around to Rick, which I sent an email to you guys right before earlier today. I'd already been emailing with the friends. They're still looking for ad space in the program, and I'm checking to see if there's still table space available. If you wanted to buy a table, then it's like to buy a table to sit behind as a vendor in the ballroom. There's a catwalk, and there are chairs that face the catwalk. There's a DJ. Kevin Skrupa is MC. There's hors d'oeuvres, and there's a cash bar, and then there are these vendor tables around of different, it could be high-end, purses, or, I mean, it's a whole bunch of different things that they're securing, but they're also doing a raffle. So if we wanted to participate also and have a raffle basket, we could do that too. But it was a well-attended affair last year. I think they had over 200 people. I think they were selling over 200 tickets last year.
Sounds like
It
fun.
says the tables are $100.
The vendor tables, yes. And then if you wanted to buy an ad in the program, that's $150 for a third. That's the smallest ad. Or we could do a raffle basket.
What date is that?
April
April
6th.
April 6th.
like
I
2
would
weeks.
not be able to
See, I can't go.
attend that.
Okay.
I'll be out of town.
Okay. Here's something else you might want to go to. So this is something we've talked about in department heads. This is a program I would like to do at the library, but it takes a lot of planning. It's called a human library. Goffstown Public Library is doing this. Have you heard about this? It's really neat, where you get people from the community who have faced some kind of criticism or challenge, or
One for each of us for those?
you can, yeah, sure.
They're all the same?
Yes, they're all the same. Or, some kind of being marginalized or something. But anyway, you get people who are their books, and you can make an appointment with them. You can make a 15-minute appointment with them to just listen to their story. So Goffstown in the past have done a transgendered person, a drag queen. It's really just anyone who's been maybe ostracized from society, and it's just to start dialogue and to meet someone and talk to someone who's different from yourself.
Like, I've heard of it, like war veterans and stuff like that. Is that not the
You
same
can,
thing?
I mean, when I talked to the staff at Goffstown about when you're under the umbrella of Human Library, because there are other organizations that kind of spearhead this kind of thing,
Oh, okay.
she said it's really someone who's been, marginalized. So if it was a war veteran, if you had a particular person who,
Prisoner of
So-
war, maybe, or disabled vet?
yeah, it's not just someone who has a cool story. It's someone who has a story that's going to make you think, that's different from your experience.
It's kind of about social injustice.
Yeah.
So the idea is people volunteer to be one of these,
Yeah. Human
Books.
book.
Books, yeah.
and then someone from the public makes an appointment with them directly or through the library?
No, it's an event that's held at the library.
And it's a one-time event?
Yes.
Oh,
So
okay.
Goffstown is doing this on the Sunday of National Library Week, and the library will only be open for this event. It's not, because you have to separate the people so that you can have a private conversation in this area and, in that area and stuff.
Is
So.
it one-on-one
Yeah,
or like?
it's
you know,
it's
a
one-on-one.
Small group with one.
It's one-on-one.
So there's no, like, moderator and a person, it's just strictly one-on-one?
So I'm planning to go to this because I heard about it when they first brought it to J Milks and said they were doing this event, and I thought it was
Bless you.
I
So
think it's a
interesting.
really interesting idea, concept, actually. I think it's well worth
Yeah,
exploring.
I'd definitely be interested in hearing more about it.
Yeah, I mean, I was trying to convince the staff to do this for our National Library Week, and they were just not. They were having a hard time envisioning what it was.
Have the staff be the books? you mean,
No,
or-
have them organize this.
Oh,
But they were
okay.
just like, I
Well,
don't
maybe
understand what you're saying.
A couple of
yet."
them should go and see what it is.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to go, and the staff know about it, but they were having a hard time imagining how
Yeah,
it
I
would
mean,
run.
Depending on the book, the person's story, it could be very interesting.
Oh, we want to get you. We could talk to you about politics.
There you
You
go.
can talk about
I would
politics.
volunteer.
Oh yeah, see?
Star Wars.
No. If you want to bring that up, but we want you politics.
No.
So
I was
I'm going to
president-
reserve you
I
as
was
the
president of a national fraternity. I could talk about fraternities.
No,
They're
you have to.
ostracized.
Talk about who?
You only have 15 minutes
Fraternity.
with someone.
Can I go back to this for a minute? Did you ask the friends about it? Would they be interested in a table?
I did. I haven't been back to the library since I sent the email earlier, but they're interested in it. So one of them wrote me back and said, what's the deadline for this stuff? Because they think it's, at least one of them thought it was, worthwhile to be out in the community in a different venue than we normally are. We go to the expo, and that's very casual. This is different. This is like fancy.
Back on the fashion show, I like the idea of getting a table, but I can't make it that night.
That's why I was wondering, maybe the friends could.
Yeah, so if there are people
They
who'd
had
be able
people
to
to
work the
manage.
table, I would definitely support that.
Yeah, I can't work the table, so I'll be working the catwalk.
If I'm available.
So,
I
well,
could work.
here's the question: do we want to make a motion to approve 100 for a table pending we find somebody to work it?
Yeah, I would be able to. I have to look at my calendar, but I think I'm free that night.
I like the idea of
Can't
having a
help.
table there. Would be nice.
What night is it? No,
It's
the
a
6th.
Thursday.
It's
The
Thursday.
Thursday night.
Oh,
I know because
Thursday.
it's the day before my birthday, which is that Friday.
Well, I can do
The
it.
Hey, you
6th
could go
is 6
inside.
days after my
And I
birthday.
have tickets for the 6th for the home opening game of the Fisher Cats,
Oh.
which is why I can't make it. So,
So I'd be able to do it on the 6th.
okay.
And then maybe we
So-
can get a couple of friends.
Yeah, I mean,
I'll be
I
there.
sent the email out. I wanted to send it out so that we could start talking about it at their meeting on Monday, I think.
That would, if we approve the money, that would come out of special. Is that right?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so do we want to make a motion to approve 100 for a table?
I will move to spend $100 for a table at the
So
Spring
we-
Into Chic Fashion Show.
Second.
Shannon, seconded by Laura. Any discussion on it?
The discussion I have is, do we want an ad as well, or do we want one or the other, or do we just want a
The ad just
table?
goes in the program.
I don't know.
Or we could do
personally, the
table and
table-
raffle basket.
I-
Or we could do table and raffle basket.
Right, so
I think that
that's
would
the
be
only
more-
reason, I
Table,
just,
Or is that
No.
a separate item?
The
That's
ra-
a separate event.
The raffle basket is going to be by the registration table.
So that's a separate thing like we do at the.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly, yes.
Will they announce the raffles that night?
Yes, you have to be present to win.
I like that idea.
Okay. So any further discussion on the
I don't
table?
know, do we
at this
want,
point?
do we want to increase it to combine
The raffle.
the raffle and the table?
Because I believe the table would be more effective than the ad.
I do too.
Well,
Okay.
do we want to approve money for both but let's see what the Friends come back with, because because you said that the Friends were interested.
Yeah,
Or
they
they
have to talk
seemed-
about it. Yeah.
Yeah, because if we approve it, we don't necessarily have to spend it.
Exactly.
If the
Right.
friends agree to
Right.
meet
But maybe-
halfway or
right,
something,
Maybe
yeah.
they
What
do the
would
basket
you,
and we do the table. I mean, whatever.
what would you
So we say
venture the
up
cost
to-
for a basket would be?
When I
50.
put baskets together for you guys, it's about $75.
So we say up to $175 for table and basket?
So good.
What are you gonna put in the basket?
I was thinking about that today because I was at the book fair.
Books, there's books on fashion.
Well, I
It's
don't.
gotta be-
You could do books on fashion, or you could just do. I mean, I was looking at a lot of the Lego Batman stuff, just because it's popular.
Batman?
Lego.
Lego
Batman.
Lego Batman.
The movie was just out.
Oh, the movie, yeah.
Out of my world.
Well, I mean, you know, we aren't in the business of handbags or
Right.
clothing or jewelry.
Kids'
Fashion.
baskets are popular.
Yeah, because anyone who's there is going to either have a kid or know a kid, or I mean, because it's hard to pick.
This fashion show's for children and adults?
There will be there's a couple of children walking, but you know,
I mean, are children attending?
some of them are,
Well,
but there's
So
you know
it's
8
starting.
high school seniors who are competing. You know, so there's some young adults present.
So-
You know, most of it's adults, business people. You know, so.
Well, then, maybe that's where you're thinking in terms of maybe our basket should be geared towards.
You could do, like, I was at this meeting this morning for this event, and they were talking, like, the YMCA is also on the chamber, someone from the YMCA, and I don't know if they were saying it but it was that end of the table. They were like, okay, so let's do a basket of, like, wine, you know, wine glasses, chocolate, or a beer basket or something like that. I mean, you could choose to do something that has, like,
sophisticated.
nothing to do with the library, but we could throw in romantic movies. You could throw in anything really, but you could say it's a date night, or I mean, you could really.
That might be more appropriate for the audience attending,
Yeah.
since it's not really a children's event, and you have business people coming there. I would think you'd want an adult basket. Wine and wine glasses is very nice. I recommend Pinot Noir. With, you know, one of those fancy corks that you put in the top, and, I don't know, a nice cork opener.
I think Laura's going to put together the basket.
I'm partial to Vina Verde.
and one copy of Bad Kitty.
And
Not bad, kitty.
Chocolate goes very nicely with
There
red
you go,
wine,
yes.
or
Yes,
white
but
wine
if
for
somebody
that
else
matter.
is doing
Okay.
a chocolate and wine basket, we
All
don't.
right, so
we
we're
authorize
remaking,
up
back on
to
track. So we're
$175.
remaking the motion with a
Well,
175
Miami's
number?
$20 a
Okay.
bottle, so you have to really consider how you're gonna be spending this money.
All right.
Okay, if you're not against me buying alcohol for this basket, that just means that the person bidding on it has to be I guess 21.
Yeah.
So I
But
can
are we
do,
repeating what somebody else is doing for basket?
You know what? It's
will
all
leave it to
good
your-
if there's.
Everybody.
We will leave it to Yvette's
Yeah, let's leave it to that to
discretion.
decide.
But I'll throw some kind of tie-in to the library in it.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of times with our baskets lately, we've done a certificate to jump the queue for the 3D printer, or a session with a librarian to do Ancestry.com. You know, and those have been some things that we've highlighted before. So,
Sounds good. Okay.
So
Okay.
we have the motion made for 175. Laura seconded. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous. All right.
okay. Figure it out.
So do we need to do anything at this point with the human library?
No, I wanted to let you know about it, and
Yeah.
that's something that it's a program I'm interested in bringing to the library. And if you wanted to know what it was and experience it, then it's at Goffstown on the 9th.
The question I have is, would we be able to pick, I guess, are there like different types of people you can pick, or,
At the event there,
well, before, when you're setting it up, are there people in
you
advance
invite.
that you can request?
I think you have
or-
to. You invite people, and you say, "Are you interested in being a book?" You know.
Okay. So we'd, well, the library, when I say we would be the ones to find the people, or is this group like a national thing?
No,
and
no,
they send
you,
people to
no,
your
you.
town?
The national organization that started the Human Library, and I think it's actually a European organization that started it. They have guidelines, so you can go to their website and follow their guidelines, but you find your local residents who have these different kinds of experiences and.
Okay. I definitely like the idea.
It's really neat.
Yeah.
Really neat. I mean, if we do it at the end of the summer reading theme is Build a Better World. So that would be a nice tie-in. Or we could wait until, next year, Goffstown, they take 6 months to plan it.
All right, that was it for your director's
Yes,
report?
that is everything.
All right.
Thanks.
Moving on to the operating budget.
Appropriation. I don't know if you have any questions about anything, or?
I didn't. Anybody have questions about the budget at this point? Seeing none?
Is workers'
have it.
comp over already?
Yeah, this,
What
printed it.
was
I know I
workers'
have it.
comp?
I didn't have anything.
Yeah.
Is it out?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's
Does
in
that
the
mean
negative.
it's, does that, what does
That means
that
it's in the
mean?
negative?
What does that mean with the workers' comp through that?
I would have to ask Paul.
It's got parentheses around it, what does
I'm
that
not sure
mean?
what we
Negative.
paid out.
Okay, because, yeah, it's showing negative 15,
Okay.
so it looks like we went over on that.
How could we go over?
I don't know, in this part
I can ask
of the
Paul.
year. Just look at our weeks ago.
Incidents at
there
the
it is.
library, we don't know about.
Well, $4.20 we're over on postage, so that is just way off.
Tragic paper
$4
cuts.
and 20 cents on postage, really?
All right.
Well, unemployment compensation too.
And buildings. Is that buildings down there? The
Yeah,
773 for buildings? What happened there?
Supplies, maybe, for fixing some.
Well, I
Buildings is
wonder,
repairs.
because there was an issue with this before where the encumbrance kind of threw things off, where it made the number look like it went negative. I wonder, is that the case?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Let's see, because if you look at, well, no, the balance is negative.
Yeah.
2.5.
Yeah, it's subtracting the encumbrance instead of adding it. Or see what, because I'm looking at like the workers' comp. For the year, it's negative 105, but then we have the encumbrance of 134. But, so we should still have,
The
roughly
difference.
$30. But it looks like the two numbers added as negatives instead of the one being treated as a positive number.
Oh, I see
Oh, I
what
see,
you're
okay.
saying, yeah.
So I think Paul's, is this spreadsheet from Paul or is it from us?
It's just in the town
Yeah.
accounting system, and I just set the month
Okay.
as a parameter and
Yeah,
run it.
I mean, as long as that was the last payment, that's not like a weekly thing that gets taken out.
Yeah. So I think there's an error in the spreadsheet, the way I'm reading it, but
Yeah.
I'll find
yeah,
out.
if you could find out from Paul.
Yeah.
Sure.
All right, no other comments on the budget at this point?
It's
All right.
about 20% spent, which is about right for.
All right, moving on to old business with the Watson account review. Do we have anything further on that?
The interest got moved out and did get posited to Yvette.
Yep.
The 30,000 is sitting in the primary savings account, waiting for us to decide what we want to do.
Okay.
So, I happen to have been listening to the news the other day, which I don't usually do because I don't like listening to the news.
Well, it does get a bit redundant.
Well, it's sad.
Fake.
Make sure you don't have any alternative facts.
I'm seeing this human library right now. See it.
Anyway,
But it was a financial report, and basically they were saying that within the next year they assume or they anticipate 3 interest rate hikes. So
Okay.
one already happened, but they anticipate a couple more.
what does that mean for
Yeah, we can't
for
hold it
us
that long.
investing, though?
Yeah.
It's in a savings account, right?
It's sitting right now in a savings
savings
account.
But we
right.
need to put it on CD.
Why?
Because
We don't.
we'll,
We don't
because we'll
have
make
to.
more
Put it in
money.
CD. No,
I
not
mean, right-
necessarily. We don't know that.
Well, probably.
That's why we took it out of the CD. It wasn't drawing enough interest.
Well, right, for a 1 year. What we were thinking of is a 3 year, but we
Year.
wanted to see,
Right.
give
We
it
didn't
some
wanna lock it
time.
in.
Right,
Right.
and this is typical with rates and stuff, but it's changing now because of our economy. But in the past, if you put it in your 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, you were pretty much constant.
locked
Your
in.
rate was locked in, and it stayed that way for like the 3 to
3
5
years,
years.
yeah.
Well, now rates are changing. So if we put it in now and lock it in for the 3 years, we're stuck at this rate.
That's right.
So.
Better to wait.
So whether we wait or maybe we don't lock in for 3 years.
We
maybe
do another
go-
1 year again.
Exactly.
I think we should wait.
But how long do we wait?
What are the CD rates compared to the saving account rates right now?
Oh,
Oh,
there-
ridiculous.
there's-
I think they're minuscule. So you're not gaining anything.
So
by
it's in a
putting into a
No,
interest drawing
it's-
saving, or no?
No, our savings account has no, there's
Yeah.
nothing.
So savings will go up.
0.1
I think we
something,
should
Yeah,
wait.
whereas-
0.001.
Right.
Where-
Whereas a CD is a,
Well, that's higher than that.
Yes.
It's like 1%.
Yeah.
I don't know. I still think we should wait, let interest
Well, I
rates
guess the
go up a
question is,
bit.
how long do we
Yeah,
wait?
how long do we wait?
Do we discuss it next month? Or
Well, they're not going to change that fast.
The other thing is DCU has it's called a jump up rate, CD.
time?
Yeah, you can jump up one time, but it only goes for 27 months or 15 months. So, and the interest rate to start is already lower than,
They're not gaining anything.
so, but if the interest
Might be
rate
a good
changed,
option, yeah.
If they're
then,
starting at a lower interest rates, you're not really gaining much, I don't think.
Lower than
Lower than
savings,
market.
no, lower than their
regular,
jumbo CD.
but you've got it in there ready to jump up when it goes up.
So, right.
So,
As it is right now, the jumbo rate for 24 to 35 months is 1%. 36 to 47 months was 1.15%. And then, because we were looking at like 3 years.
Mhm.
And then the jump up rate is 1.08 for 27 months, and then it was 0.93 for 15 months.
Just less.
I mean, we're not talking huge amounts of interest.
No.
We're talking, $30, $50, something like that.
Well, we were a little bit less than 1% with the one that we just finished, and that got us like $180.
Oh, did it really? A year?
Yeah, it's right around there. I don't even remember. It was 180. So, but the interest rate from when we took it out to now has gone up, not much, but some. Like I said, the market people say that interest rates are supposed to go up, so.
What do you recommend, Madam Treasurer?
Oh, yeah. Actually, in reality, I would rather do a lower month CD. Instead of doing the 3 years, I would rather do a
Like
1
a
or
1 year?
2 year
Mm-hmm.
at this rate, just because interest rates are
now
changing.
what's
It's
the difference
volatile.
between the 1 or 2 year?
Actually, I didn't write down the 1 year. I just wrote 2 and 3. But the difference between 2 and 3 is 0.15%.
So we're not talking huge amounts.
No, we're not, but it's time.
Yep.
Now we're talking time.
We have to keep in mind that it's possible that the interest rates will continue to go up if the economy remains strong
Right.
over this year and possibly into next year. So if we lock it in and the interest rates jump up to 2 or 3%, we're locked in at a
Right.
lower rate.
That's why I'd lean toward probably a 1 year.
A 1 year CD.
And then, that way we're not locked in for a huge amount of time.
Yep.
We are drawing interest over the next year, so it's not just sitting there.
Which is pretty much what it's doing in a savings account.
Yeah.
Not that it's huge, but it's something.
Yeah. So I'd rather have it somewhere drawing interest than nowhere. But
Should we vote on moving it to a new one-year CD? I don't
Are you making a
know.
motion?
What do you think about that, Janet?
making the motion?
Well, do you think
It's not-
we should wait more time, hold it out further for any reason?
She's looking it up.
I'm looking up what the 1 year is. Oh, that's the other thing. I'm glad I actually opened this. We now have checking available at DCU if we wanted to pursue that, having.
Combining our
Combining
accounts.
everything together.
I would be in favor of that.
Keep it simple.
So we have accounts at 3 different banks.
It's complicated.
So when we change
trying to
chair or
simplify.
treasurer, it's a whole nightmare to get it all switched over.
But with a 1 year.
Scroll. There we go.
So is this, I'm on their site, but is it under regular rates?
No, it's under jumbo rates.
Jumbo rates.
There we go. It's, so it'd be 0.85.
0.85.
Yep.
For 1 year?
versus
0.85
24 months
versus.
was,
What's
One.
it drawing right now? You said .001?
No. These are, you're looking at jumbo rates. Actually, I don't know what you're
What's the
looking
savings drawing now?
at. Nothing.
Nothing.
The savings account doesn't draw anything.
so
What
we
about
get an
doing a
extra
short term
0.2%
of,
by going 24, we get 0.2% by going 2 years instead of 1.
well, here, they have 3 to 5 months. Well, that's
I don't know if I'm on the right thing.
add-ons to jumbo permitted.
Yeah, but subtract 0.25% from that number.
Track points.
Subtract
Oh,
0.25% from that
From-
number.
from
So-
60
Yep.
to get what?
Oh, because we don't have this
Because we don't
relationship
have this
benefits with their
relationship
checking
benefit.
account.
Right.
Oh,
But if we add the checking account, we would get this higher rate?
And if we have something that does a direct deposit, which we don't have
Oh.
anything that does a direct
Oh,
deposit.
okay.
well, what, the bank that we're using now, what are their interest rates? The same?
Actually, I called on it and they would not tell me.
They wouldn't tell you.
Well, I checked their website and did a chat, and they were like, "You need to call." And I'm like, "Can't you just give me the rates?" "No, we can't give you the rates, so you have to call the business." I went, "Okay." So I have the number.
So we don't have a comparison.
So I
I
did-
can tell you
Based on, I'm sorry.
at least
Go.
what was online, because I didn't know if we were a small business or personal, but actually based off of either one of those, DCU was still better.
Okay, so that's a non-discussion. Well, here they have 3 to 6 months, 0.6%, 6 to 11 months, 0.7%.
But you have to subtract
subtract
0.25%.
Oh, duh.
So based on my math, if we went 2 years versus 1, we'd only make another $60 a year. So 120 total.
Do one, we
So I
just
would
have,
be
we
in
have the
favor
option
of
to change it, yeah,
I see.
putting it in for 1 year.
Yeah, no more than that.
yeah.
And I don't see any,
Yeah.
unless there's something going on in the news I'm not aware of, I don't see any reason to wait.
I agree.
I don't think the rates are going to change between now and April.
I agree.
Probably not. But wait till May.
May, everything's going to change, right?
Everything will change.
I
in
see.
May.
So were you going to make the motion?
I
to
was going, yeah,
request for
well,
renewal at
I
this
move
point?
that the Watson account be moved out of its present savings account and used to, be put into a 1-year CD at DCU at, is it the jumbo rate?
Yep.
At the jumbo rate.
Do we have a second
I second.
or seconds? Any discussion on it? No? All right, all in favor? Unanimous, all right. That's it for the Watson account. Alternates we discussed. We have Janice here who's interested. So
Is she still interested? It's almost
I
9
am still
o'clock.
interested.
So what
been a
I would
long meeting.
recommend is at the end of the meeting, if you can give, probably Yvette would be the best person to take just your phone number and email address. And then I will find out when the town council is meeting in April, because we want to wait till after the election. And then we'll get on their agenda to have them appoint. So,
If you're interested.
if you're interested, if you could change your mind between now and April. All right. The 17-18 budget, we presented it at the town council. It went before the deliberative session. Nothing happened at the deliberative session. It was a very quiet meeting. So it's on the ballot.
And you're
April
gonna,
11th.
sorry,
April 11th voting day.
April 11th is election. Yep.
and you're gonna talk about it
At
with the staff.
staff meeting on Thursday,
Thursday.
yes. The one question I have, because there's like a $3 or $4 million difference between the default and the budget.
She has not talked about it yet.
I'd be curious to know what our default would end up
She
looking
hasn't.
like.
She has not brought that up yet. So,
Okay.
she being Eileen, the town manager, so I don't know.
If you could see if you can find that out from Paul or Aileen, just
Okay.
what our bottom line would be if the
Yeah.
default ended up going,
Yeah, because I don't know either, so.
you know, just like the worst case scenario planning kind of thing, you know.
Yeah.
So, all right, and then April 11th is the election. It's Laura and Karen's seats are the ones up, and it's an uncontested election, so it's not a lot of campaigning. So,
Please.
so, well, you guys can, argue and bicker back and forth if you guys
Who
want.
wants to get the more votes than the other one?
Actually, if you guys will vote, that's enough, and then we're all
There
set.
you go. All right, the development fund was still on the old business. What do we have with that?
We talked about last time about we're gonna talk about strategic plan.
Oh, the
and
joint
vision and
meeting, that's what it
everything,
was.
when we do our retreat, and then hopefully we'll have a little more
That's right,
direction
thank
for
you.
everybody, and then hopefully in May we can get a joint meeting together.
Our retreat is going to be really long.
When is the retreat?
We haven't set a date for that.
And well, we can talk about that we don't need to talk about that right now.
It would most likely be, it's going to be after the election, so sometime after April 11th.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
So I wasn't even going to set a date until after the election at this point, unless somebody really has a date they
No.
had in mind, but.
I was busy typing, so I wasn't paying attention. Were you talking about meeting with the development fund and the Friends
Friends.
and
Yeah, a
us?
joint meeting.
A joint meeting
But at this
about,
point, it's going to be after our retreat.
after the retreat, yes.
Okay, is there anything for other business?
I have more, sorry.
I have a couple things too.
But why don't you go?
All right, it is now 8:49.
Mine are quick. Blog post is Karen this month, me next month? Okay, just wanted to be sure.
Yeah, Karen was going
Yeah.
to do the.
Yeah,
And then Library Week's coming up in April, so the staff luncheon we usually pay
Oh,
for.
Well,
yes.
that's what I was gonna bring up too, which was, in the past, the trustees have purchased lunch sandwiches. You guys are invited, we sit around and have sandwiches, or whatever. I think the last year we didn't do a lunch, because not everyone can make a lunch. So I did, snacks in the break room. I think I've done that a couple of times. So it's whatever you want.
How about an ice cream social?
when
Ice cream
is it? Do you know the dates?
Let's look.
National Library Workers' Day is it's election day.
Oh.
So we need to have ice cream, yeah.
So
That's-
Library Week is the week of
The April 9th,
April 9th.
yeah, and then National Library Workers' Day is Tuesday. Yeah. And that's usually the day that the trustees have had the lunch. But it can be any day, it can be,
Why don't you tell us what you think works best
Yeah,
for
what
the
do you
staff?
want?
Or do you want to ask them at the meeting on Thursday.
Okay.
Well, you could have an ice cream social on Monday. On Tuesday, you could have snacks. On Wednesday, you could have a candy
A candy bar.
candy
Oh my
bar
gosh, that'd be so much fun.
extravaganza. On Thursday, it could be popcorn and potato chips. And on Friday, it could be the big celebratory cake.
My
And
goodness.
on Monday, everybody starts with
And
Walters.
like breakfast Friday.
And on Sunday, it's sign up for the gym.
Sunday you eat one nice green leaf. You feel a lot better.
Yeah.
Sunday, we have the rep from the gym coming to the library. Sign people up.
Okay, do you want to come to something? Maybe that's the way to ask it.
Sure.
Yeah, if I can.
So
Okay.
we would need to approve an amount.
Maybe, yeah.
Well, let's
We
see,
took
ice
that.
cream is $4 a gallon.
How much, do you remember how much roughly we
It's a
spent?
couple $100.
I want to say we were,
Sandwiches.
what, like 300 or 400?
Yeah.
in the
It's a
past
couple
or
$100
more?
for sandwiches. Yeah.
Do you want to say up to?
Oh, you
three?
could cater.
We go to one of the lovely sandwich shops in town and pick up a bunch of subs and cut them up and get chips and sodas and
That works.
sodas,
So were you
cookies.
going to say, Jen, up to something?
350, 400, just
Up to, yeah.
up to
To,
400.
yeah, up to, just so we have the amount. And then
Yeah.
I move.
Put under that, obviously.
I move that we spend up to $400 from special for the National Library Workers' Day luncheon or breakfast or
TBD.
Week.
How about for the week? For the event, for the events.
Okay, who's seconding? Laura seconded. Any
Right.
comments, discussions?
It's
Seeing
now
none.
8:53.
All right, all in favor? All right. Did you vote yes?
Still have non-public.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, unanimous.
We still have non-public too, don't we?
Jen, did you have any more?
We still, yeah, we have a non-public.
Okay, I just wanted to let you know, I did purchase QuickBooks.
Oh,
So, and that came through TechSoup. It's $50, so that came out of, I think, special.
special.
I guess it came out of special. So I haven't installed it yet. A little nervous about installing it because it's like all your accounts. So, so that should happen soon, and it's a license where
Well, you
you'll
can-
see it.
You're not gonna you can just do a backup. and
Side by
move
side.
it over.
I have. Do you want to come over sometime
Sure.
and hold my hand?
That would be nice.
Or
Sure.
should,
No
ha-
worries.
I've never done anything like this. I've
Oh.
never. I don't keep accounts, online or in the cloud in my personal life, so I've never had to migrate them.
Okay.
Have you done this before?
Gary has.
Is he going to come hold my hand?
He can come hold your hand. He's told me. He's like, I'll show her what to do.
Is that all right if someone holds
Oh,
my
yeah.
hand? Or does anyone else want to hold my hand, or is it a problem with Gary?
I don't know how to do it, so.
I've never done it. I have.
You're good at that part.
I mean, every time he upgrades, he just takes our old stuff, moves it to the new stuff.
Perfectly fine if he helped her.
Yep, yep.
If he has experience with it, then I
Yeah.
don't
Has
see any
special
problem with it.
dispensation for one day.
He can be assistant treasurer for
one day.
that amount of time.
Alternate
advisor.
treasurer for one
An
day.
advisor.
As long as we're not paying him for it, then it should be fine.
Okay, so maybe have him just contact
Yeah.
me, and we'll figure out when he's free and I'm free. Okay. And then the last thing, I wanted to mention the strategic plan and explain to you what I gave you. So this is a draft. What it is, you have the first 16 pages that are before the green page. That's the plan. Rick, that's not the part you should be looking at right now. So the first 16 pages is the plan
I
that
saw something shiny.
I know that. We're going to talk about that after. So basically, what you should do is read it, okay? And then probably the best thing would be to schedule a separate meeting when you want to discuss it, make changes, ask questions. What normally happens in a plan, and the library, to my knowledge, has never had a strategic plan, this definitely is going to direct the decisions you want to make, our future plans, long-range plans, all the stuff you've kind of touched upon already in the meeting. Some of the things, because a lot of the, because a lot of this came out of the telephone survey, we already knew what our shortcomings were based on a telephone survey and focus groups that happened over a year. So the staff have already addressed a lot of this, and you already know about it. It just documents now what we've done in the past, and then there's other things in the future. So that's that. But this is like, ideally what happens is, once it's approved by the board, you've made any changes or corrections, additions that you want to, and then we shop it around. We would present it to the town council, we could present it to the Rotary, we could present it to the Chamber of Commerce, we could present it to any interested group that wants to. You can have open houses, we post it on the website. We put all links on the website. I mean, it's really, this is the things you can start to talk about and have answers for. When are we ever going to get a new building? Now we have an answer, or at least we have a, my recommendation about that would be, well, I don't know. But we've made a lot of changes in the current building, and I think we need to bring someone in to assess the building and see where we go now with this structure. Because, so it's not like, this is not the end, but once we have ideas about where to go from here, we start writing another plan, and it's for the next 3 to 5 years.
Right.
So there's going to be a little bit of overlap with the end of this and the beginning of that, and that's fine. The next one is going to write. It's going to be written faster because we have something to build on now. The department heads have gone over this. I'm going to have it available for the rest of the staff to see it if they want to, but until you guys approve it, it's just still unofficial. So I don't know if you have any questions.
We need time to read it over.
Absolutely, yeah.
It is now 8:58.
I also gave you the statistics. This is the 5-year comparison.
Yes.
From 2009-10 fiscal year to 2013-14. We have 15-16, but Joanne didn't have time to, delete 9-10 and put in 15-16. But this is the statistics that are included in the plan. So I was a little bit reluctant to go past it.
Is this the stuff that's also in the annual report?
It only goes year by year. You'd
Right.
have to open up multiple,
Right, but I mean-
to compare it. But yeah, that's all the stuff. We also put our information into the state library report, which is due at the end of the month. So I'll have, I guess, 16 or 15-16. I think we always report fiscal year, so I'll have 15-16 in that. But, department heads haven't really sat down to discuss this. At length, we've had a lot of turnover. I mean, it's still kind of the same thing where we might have discussed it with certain staff, but then they leave, and then it's kind of, we have a whole new group of people right now to talk about. But, yeah, I don't know.
On top of this, for like Overdrive, for instance,
Yep.
since that's going away, do we have the stats of how many magazines were checked out through that?
We can run any report you want.
Because it's the services like that I'd personally be interested, especially with Overdrive going away. Well, the magazine portion of it going away. I'd be curious to see, how much usage did we actually get from it.
Okay. Okay.
And like Freegal and
Yeah, I mean, I know,
curious about
yeah.
the stats on those as well.
Well, Hoopla has only been up for a month.
Yeah, I know Hoopla's kind of new, so we don't really have anything to really
Right.
report yet. But
Right, and I know, like, with Hoopla, the last number, it was like 110 unique users. And then Freegal Music, that's remained pretty steady in terms of the number of unique users, and I don't remember the number off the top of my head, and it wouldn't be here because it's newer. I mean, if you,
Janice, are you familiar with Freegal and Hoopla yet?
Well, I know what Hoopla is.
Freagle's a service on our website where you can actually download music,
Yeah,
and it
yeah.
doesn't expire. You get to keep it.
Yeah, I've just, having just read the Hoopla stuff, I
Yeah.
kind
Hoople's great.
of connected.
Put it on your
Hoopla is
phone.
great.
Put it on your phone.
I don't have that kind of phone.
Yvette,
Yeah.
Come on.
looking at the circulation
It's true.
numbers,
Yep.
is this unusual? Or is this what happens in a lot of libraries?
The trend now is that circulation of physical objects are going down. You also
look at
need to look at the
ebooks.
very top of the page, though, because this says our open hours. So in 2009-10, we were open 68 hours. In 13-14, we were open 59 hours a
Okay.
week.
Oh, okay.
So I think we're actually below 59 right now. I kind of think we're at 54. So obviously when the libraries close, people don't come in. Our door count, that goes off. Our door counter is something we need to replace. That's been on our improvement list
Yes.
for a couple of 2 years maybe.
That should be on the.
That should be on, those are the kinds of things that would be nice
It's on
to
the
have.
list. It's on the list, but shouldn't have time. There's lots of other things that we are trying to do day-to-day stuff, and next month, she told me next month you will have it.
It's just helpful for our planning.
I understand that.
Okay.
Um,
So I see the downloadable audio
Right. So,
and ebooks.
the downloadable, the electronic stuff all goes up.
And of course, this is 2014.
Yeah, it stops
We don't
at
have
2014.
last
3 years ago.
Right, because what happened was when I became the director in 2012, that was my fiscal year, was 12-13, we were going to start talking about statistics. And then Joanne was out for a while,
Yeah.
and we never got it back on the agenda to talk about,
Yeah.
just with my department heads, and then we started to have some turnover on the department head level. So it's just, now we have to bring it, it's a good time to bring it back now, now that they've looked at this, it kind of goes with this, so.
Okay.
Yeah, but they, how these are collected, all of the departments will collect statistics for program attendance, questions, what kind of questions. We always know how much we're purchasing, how much we're deleting, these reports can be run regularly. Usually you do a cleanup of a database. In June, before the fiscal year starts, we'll clean up how many card holders do we have, and are these still, valid, or are they expired? Cards will have a regular schedule to do that, so.
Okay, well, now that it's 9:05.
I want to make sure you're listening to me, though.
Thank you very much for getting this to us. We
All right, so that's
appreciate
it
it.
for other business.
So this is
or
like
did
a
any-
future conversation for you.
Yeah, and I personally,
good.
I like this because, it
Yes,
gives us
this
as a
is
board
helpful.
direction. If obviously, if for instance, the DVDs usage is going up, I'm just making up numbers here,
Right.
but if we see that going up and something else going down, we can say, well, maybe when we do the next budget, we put more money here and less money
Right.
there, or
Yeah,
when we look at programs coming up, we could say, well, we have a huge market for music in our town, obviously, because
Right.
everybody's borrowing CDs. And
right. I know what I've heard from the other libraries that updated their website before us, that it changed, it affected their statistics. So we're going to have to see, now that we've had our website for a year and a half, how it's going to change our, I don't remember which part it changes, but it changes it. And some of our holdings will be affected, the numbers of our holdings. It's a
Okay.
little bit different.
All right, so it sounds like that's it for other business. Does anybody else have anything?
That's all I got.
That's all you got?
Yep.
All right, so on the calendar, the trustees are next meeting April 18th at 7 o'clock right here again. Janice, I don't think we'd have time to get to the town council by then, but you're welcome to sit in again. Yeah, it's April 18th. The development fund, Did we have a date
March
for that?
1st or 2nd, they haven't,
May.
I
May.
mean,
May.
May, sorry. May 1st or 2nd, they haven't decided yet.
All right, then the Friends are meeting the 27th of this month, next Monday at 7 PM at the library. Any questions, comments from the public? You don't have to say anything. We always have a section for press and public.
I actually have a question, but I don't know that it's relative for this.
Well, you can wait, and we'll take a break before we go into non-public. You're welcome to talk to us
Yeah,
at
okay.
one-on-one. All right, so nothing else, so we'll make the roll call vote. Who's going to make a motion to go into non-public
Motion
for?
that we adjourn our meeting.
Well, no, we have to go into non-public. We have one issue
Oh, I'm sorry.
9:06.
I motion that we go into,
for
Non-public
RSA.
then.
Hold on, you have the RSA on this
Yeah.
one. RSA 91-A:3 IIC. And you're making the motion to go into non-public?
yes.
Jennifer seconded. Roll call. Jennifer,
Aye.
Laura,
Aye.
Janet, me, aye.
Aye.
Karen, aye. Okay. So we'll take a 10-minute break. And then
some paving that needs to be done. We put, school board put central office out in 2015, 2016. The planning and building committee had it in 14, 15. The board moved it out till 15, 16. Then we have drainage for the parking lots that we're going to be repaving because we want to clean those up because virtually when you look in front of